Did you know that there are over 4 billion people in the world who can speak 2 or more languages? And another several billion on their way to join them. So if it's your dream to master a second language, and I mean really consider yourself fluent, then this video's for you. So first of all, what is fluency? Well, the Cambridge Dictionary defines it as
the ability to speak or write a language easily, well, and quickly.
But let's not kid ourselves. There are tons of milestones along the path to fluency. I'm talking about the ability to have conversations, consume media, read literature, but let's zero in on one specific marker of fluency that really stands out from the rest. The ability to speak without thinking. You know, without mentally translating every phrase in your head, the same way you do in your native language. To actually think in a foreign language. Now, you might ask yourself, is this even possible? Well, I'm here to tell you that not only is it possible, it's easier than you think. And I can teach you how to think in a foreign language. Now, some people don't believe it's possible to do this. Maybe you've seen this guy around claiming it's impossible to think in a foreign language without translating, so you might as well forget about it. Let's have a look, shall we?
Sua filhota passou pelo atrito linguístico e o adulto, para não pensar ou não traduzir para o português, precisa morrer e nascer de novo.
Well, I respect all points of view, and I think it's interesting to consider all perspectives. But anyone claiming that thinking in a foreign language is impossible, well, take it with a grain of salt. But you know, I can't help but disagree with his conclusion that it's impossible to think in a foreign language, because I think in Portuguese. And not only that, I dream in Portuguese. That's right. And there are plenty of studies out there on multilingual dreamers and people who think in foreign languages. So if you also find yourself thinking and dreaming in a foreign language, leave your experience in the comments below. So anyway, for the sake of this video, let's just assume that it is in fact possible to think and dream in a foreign language. That brings me to the part you've all been waiting for. How can I learn to think in a foreign language? Well, there's no secret really. It's just practice. You see, there are people who study a language for years and never practice speaking, and so they find they can't have a conversation. Similarly, there are people who speak a foreign language for years, but never practice thinking, and so of course, they think it's impossible to think in a foreign language. But you see, it's just another exercise to learn. Look, you could read all the books ever written about riding a bicycle, but until you get on there and start pedaling, you're not going anywhere. And the same is true for thinking in a foreign language.
Duh.
So here are some exercises that you can do that will help you start to think in a foreign language. Number 1, immerse yourself. Obviously, complete immersion is going to help you learn faster, but not all of us have the conditions to live in a foreign country. In that case, you have to simulate immersion. That means having conversations with others and consuming all media in your target language, all day, as much as you can. Basically try to live day to day in that language. When you're out and about, going to the store or whatever, actively translate phrases in your head. That way you're preparing yourself to phrase things in the foreign language as well. And you can just go on doing this all day long. Which brings me to tip number 2, narration. When I moved to Brazil 11 years ago, I was able to learn Portuguese in 6 months. And that is because every day I would practice thinking in Portuguese. And the brilliant thing about this exercise is you can do it anytime, anywhere. This is what you do. All day long, narrate your routine activities in your target language. For example, you wake up in the morning, think to yourself, "Oh, what time is it? Oh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna make breakfast. Oh, this coffee's hot. I'm gonna take a shower." And so on. By doing this, you're going to train yourself to think in the foreign language and reinforce the vocabulary you already have. Tip number 3, internal dialogue. Just like narration, you can do this one all day long as well. Just work on forming other phrases in your head, like expressing your thoughts and your feelings. This is important not only for common expressions you're going to use day to day, but also for complex and abstract ideas. And even if people think you're crazy, talk to yourself in a foreign language. Adopt all the idioms and expressions. For example, if you hit your funny bone, curse in the language. Caralho, caralho, caralho. If you do these things every day, I guarantee you will start thinking in a foreign language in no time. In conclusion, I decided to make this video because it really bothers me when people go out of their way and try so hard to convince you that something is impossible. You see, I believe that it is in fact irresponsible to say something is impossible and never even try. And if you have tried and you found you're not able to, don't assume it's impossible for everyone. We create our limitations with our beliefs. And as the Buddha said, the mind is everything. What you think, you will become. So if it is your dream to speak, think, and dream in a foreign language, first, you must believe it is possible. Everything else comes with practice. So get out there and start thinking. I believe in you. Oh, and if you've enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more from Gringo's English.